Hi, everyone. I'd like to announce that we're convening a meeting after a great lunch for those of us who were able to be there. Also would like to announce that we are live captioning our meeting, so please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. So at this time, I'm going to call to order the regular meeting of the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board for November 28th, 2023. For the record, I will now call a roll of board members. I will start with our student trustee, Mr. Lynn Burnett.
Present.
Thank you. Ms. Butler.
Present.
Thank you. Ms. Davis.
Present.
Thank you. Dr. Narini.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Present.
Dr. Thor.
Present.
Ms. Bittersmith.
Here.
Thank you. All 7 board members are present this evening, and we have our student trustee with us as well. Thank you for joining us. And we're now at the cusp of a new holiday season. It started last week. Everyone is, I assume, feeling good about their experience and their time with family and friends as we move or skate or run, trot, sleigh rides into December. As we start our meeting, we will move to the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've chosen or asked Dr. Heather Carter to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening. I want to announce that Dr. Carter has agreed, been hired to serve as our next Senior Vice Chancellor for External Affairs. And
Thank
so
you.
yesterday was her first day, so it's appropriate. You're 1.5 days into your job, and now you're in front of us on the podium. So yay, this won't be the first time, trust me. And I want to announce that in this role, Dr. Carter will be responsible for the overall planning, development, and coordination of our strategic workforce, economic, government, and community affairs-driven initiatives. So Dr. Carter, thank you. We're grateful you've chosen to join the team. Dr. Gonzalez, great hire. And with that, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Everyone please stand.
Absolutely, it's my honor. Thank you. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To the team. I am not sure where all that stuff, background noise is coming from. Do we know?
I think that was the wind, the sound effects.
The
just blowing
sound.
in the fan.
Okay, we'll go with no wind. So with that, thank you again. Let's announce our substitutions for this evening. We have Michelle Angostinelli, Academic Technology, for Matthew Reeves, our Interim Chief Information Officer, and we have Mr. Joshua Bastian, Interim Chief Information Security Officer, for Matt Reeves as well. So welcome this evening. And we are going to start in the most delightful way, and that is with our student life report and reporting from Paradise Valley Community College. So welcome. So will our students and those from Paradise Valley please join us at the podium? Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. Good afternoon, President Sullivan, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, CEC, and guests. My name is Sandra L. Hames, and I'm the current Student Government Chair at Paradise Valley Community College.
I'm Leah Williams, and I'm the Treasurer of Student Government. I'm Hallie Gorel, and I'm the Student Government Secretary.
I'm Will Jill, and I'm a student senator.
Today, I am happy to announce that student government is back for the first time in 3 years after the pandemic. Student government now has a functioning executive board, multiple senators, and multiple contributing, consistently attending members, coming at a total of 14 dedicated members. Next slide, please. Since the return of student government at PVCC, we have gotten the pleasure to attend a luncheon hosted by the college president. We have also attended alumni events and connected with previous PVCC students, some of which participated in student government during their time at Paradise Valley. Student government is also currently running a donation drive where all donated items will be given back to the local community. This has fostered the atmosphere to initiate multiple student-led projects like a STEM fair for kids ages 8 to 12 and a community service volunteer fair that is run by students and for students. What this has done is create a warm, welcoming environment on our campus where students can feel safe. Next slide, please. In an attempt to spread awareness about student government's return, student government has made multiple public appearances in the form of participation at the annual Pause birthday event and the Festival of Tales, which is run by the Education Department and Club Ed. The hope is for us to keep engaging with students in order to better serve them and the surrounding community. Student government is also actively planning a winter fair, which will be an opportunity for on-campus clubs to fundraise and participate in, as well as serve as means for students to decompress after a long, rewarding semester. Next slide, please. A major theme and goal of student government has been creating a safe space for students. Therefore, student government hosts a public hour twice a month where students are encouraged and invited to share their concerns and successes on campus. During these meetings, we have heard concerns and input from students to better their experience. There have been lots of requests for the return of fully in-person classes, childcare, and additional resources for adults who are returning to education. Also, the need for in-person classes has been greatly emphasized as students return to education after the pandemic. Increasing the range of options allows students to build connections and learn in the way that suits them best. Next slide, please. Now, on behalf of the students of PVCC, I would like to thank Governing Board Member Dr. Tom Narini, who shared his story as a first-generation college student and inspired us all to keep dreaming. We appreciate your support and encouragement. Next slide, please. I would also like to thank Governing Board Member Dr. Linda Thor. She helped us welcome State Representative Judy Schreiber onto our campus for a tour of the Puma Empowerment Center in collaboration with Dress for Success. It has been a pleasure to get to know her and work with her. Overall, at Paradise Valley, the common theme has been creating a safe space for students to which they can belong. My hope, alongside my peers in student government, is to continue cultivating that inclusive environment that PVCC has always offered me, not only to create a safe space for students, but to also create an enriching atmosphere for academic success. On behalf of student government, it is my pleasure to serve the PVCC student body, and I look forward to working with students in order to improve their experience. Thank you for your time and consistent support. We will be heading back to class now.
We certainly appreciate you leaving campus to join us here today. Our timing today was due to a special event that many of us have to attend this evening. So thank you for accommodating us. But most importantly, thank you for your leadership and your reintroduction of student government in the manner that you've expressed. I think that that's critically important. Dr. Schwartz, do you have any additional comments to make to all of this? Did you hear? Yeah, she's incredibly proud of you, and I think all of us are. And Dr. Narini, did you have a good time? Whoa. And I know it's always enjoyable to be on campus, Dr. Thor.
It was, and I got a coffee mug.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, there you go. Well, again, students, thank you very much for taking your time today. Let's give them a round of applause for it. We'll now move to our Faculty Executive Council report. Dr. Murcia.
Madame la Présidente, membres du Conseil d'administration, chancelier, collègues du CEC, étudiants honorés, this went out, et inventé, Jambo. By the way, I'm out of French now. I've addressed everyone in French, so we'll have to come with somebody new. Yeah, we'll have to think of anything. November is a month where many thanks are given, whether it be for the men and women who have selflessly served this country, for our families, or for friends we consider family. Here at Maricopa, I think we can confidently say that we are thankful for our students, without whom there would be no Maricopa. On the other hand, I thought it might be nice for you to hear what our students were thankful for. So I worked with College Student Affairs to collect some current student testimonials, and I also reached out to some alumni. We asked them what they were thankful for about Maricopa Community Colleges and their college in particular. So I would like to read a few of those testimonials here, and you can see the slide on the board is a word cloud of some of the phrases, and at your seats are also a magnet I made of that word cloud to keep with you to remember this. So I will read a few of these. The MCCCD system allowed me to complete an associate's degree with no debt because of their affordable pricing for tuition. Also, the smaller classes really helped me transition from high school to a larger university setting as I completed a bachelor's at ASU. I am, however, most thankful for the professors I had while attending SCC. They were attentive, knowledgeable, and helpful in guiding me towards a major. Going to GCC in my 30s was a little intimidating. So many students were fresh from high school, and I hadn't been in school for a while. I appreciate the faculty that made it fun and easy to figure things out. Everybody I came into contact with while setting up my classes and financial aid was very helpful and friendly. Several of my teachers made me love going to classes and excited to learn. The experience was so positive that later I took courses just for interest and fun. That being said, I am now about to start back at GCC in my early 50s, and I couldn't be more excited. I am a student at Paradise Valley Community College. I am grateful for the excellent teachers at PVCC. All of the instructors are authentic and want the students to succeed. In addition, they are comfortable with changing their teaching styles and practices to accommodate the students' needs. They are great listeners and take the time to learn about our lives. The instructors empathize with our personal challenges, encouraging us to continue pursuing an education. I'm thankful for the affordable courses offered at Maricopa Community College. I am thankful for all the great professors I've had at each college. Without a doubt, they have shown me how much they care and want me to succeed. I'm thankful for the smaller class sizes that gave us the opportunity to create a relationship not only with our fellow classmates, but also our professors. The affordable prices allow students like myself and so many more to pursue higher education. Thank you. I am so grateful for the opportunities awarded to me through Scottsdale Community College. I came to college a timid student who earned my GED after not graduating high school. I had felt at the time that the education system had let me down. When I came to SCC, I was welcomed with open arms and open minds. Throughout the time I studied there, my grades went up, and I was able to achieve a 3.6 GPA, something I never thought possible. I made incredible and lasting connections with my professors who cheered me on every step of the way. One in particular took me under her wing. She really honestly believed in me and pushed me to challenge myself. I am now in St. Louis, Missouri, about to start school once again, but this time for wildlife conservation and equine medicine. I don't think I would have gotten this far if it hadn't been for all the people who helped me along the way at SCC. I will always be indebted and grateful for the time, knowledge, and discipline I gained through the best community college in the West. I'm proudly thankful for my college experience, which is dedicated to fostering success. It's a refreshing change from my previous educational experiences because instructors here encourage us to redo assignments for better understanding and achievement. My classes are filled with valuable information that aligns perfectly with the career path I intend to pursue, and they are equipping me for a successful future. Moreover, I'm thrilled by the numerous opportunities Rio Salado offers its students, including grants, scholarships, and financial support, which provide a strong foundation for financial stability. I've never attended a college that is as deeply invested in its students' success as this one, and it's truly inspiring. It's from PC. The community. Everyone is so friendly and always willing to help. Our teachers and staff, because they do their best and provide a safe environment to grow. I'm thankful for the ability to obtain a quality education that I can afford and be part of a school system that is teeming with opportunities to help me grow on and off campus, helping me provide a better future for myself and my family. Another GCC. My gratitude for GCC began with my moving cross country for Phoenix. I was able to plant my own roots and start my own journey because of the classes I took and the classmates and professors I had. One professor pushed me to blaze my own path and taught me to appreciate the journey. GCC fostered my love of learning and allowed me to explore endless avenues that led me to where I am today. I was able to experience diverse cultures, challenge and expand my beliefs, and travel halfway around the world. I am a better human because of GCC, and for that I will be endlessly thankful. This is from a SCC alum. I was a disaster in high school. I thought classes were stupid and I didn't care about grades. Once I started caring, I thought it was too late to go to a four-year school. But then I discovered Maricopa Community Colleges. It was a fresh start, a chance to hit the reset button on my education. Surrounded by supportive professors and diverse peers, I found my footing. The flexible schedule allowed me to work while going to school, and that, plus the financial aid, helped fund my way without debt. Community college does not judge my past. I felt it focused on nurturing my potential. It's my bridge to a better future, showing that messing up in high school doesn't define who you are or where you are headed. Before I close with my standard haiku, I would like to offer up one more thankful moment. And that goes out to Ms. Bettina Sellis for her work as the acting vice chancellor and provost. Faculty leadership are great for what she has done to provide leadership and support in 2 roles. We wish her continued success wearing a single hat for a change next year. And a haiku. Knowledge blooms in halls, community embrace thrives, grateful hearts take flight. Thank you.
I said that actually without the microphone on again. Merci. And I also would like to express the board's appreciation and gratitude to all of the faculty that have contributed to the students' success as well. So thank you. Moving on then to our Adjunct Faculty Association report from Ms. Boge.
Thank you for that pronunciation.
I know, I got it right. I'm so proud of myself.
Well, see, the beige Boge
Yeah,
equivalent gave
okay.
you the understanding last time. So good afternoon, not evening, to President Sullivan, Governing Board, and Chancellor Gonzalez. Thank you again for having me as part of this. So I'd like to give you a report on the recent work of our adjunct faculty group. We met most recently on November 11th for our regular AFG board meeting. And it was a vibrant and engaged meeting with our representatives. We have reinstituted our sharing portion of our meetings, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but we hadn't been doing it much the last few years. And our representatives are absolutely engaged and willing and happy to share their successes on their campuses, whether it's the newsletters they're sending out, the activities that they're helping host for their adjuncts, or the different committees that they're being involved with. I'd like to highlight, let's see, one of our representatives, Sal Franco Carbajal. He shared the great success that he's having with the project. He's actually on the, working with the EMCC STEM Day featuring the Microsoft Data Center. And he just happened to have a group of students that were already working on a project, and they were able to highlight it during the Microsoft visit and had a wonderful time with that. I'd also like to highlight the Adjunct Appreciation Night that Glendale hosted for their adjuncts. I volunteered to work the event just because I thought it would be good to be part of something, because as president, I want to be involved in other people's things, not just my business and not just Phoenix College. And so I got to work the door and hand out socks. They gave fuzzy socks to everybody, and it was a great event. We had a really good turnout, and we also had campus leadership with President Hernandez and also Lori Konopka giving brief presentations, as well as some of the other people. And it was a really lovely evening, and the representatives that put it on from Glendale worked really hard and did a great job with it. We have had the first of our planned town hall meetings. The first one we had highlighted compensation and our tiers program. We had 2 sessions with good attendance and questions for our attendees. We hosted the first of our second 2 sessions last night that were highlighting working conditions, conflict resolution, and shared governance. And we'll be using all the information that we've gathered as we work with the Compensation Advisory Committee and budget planning for different ideas on what that we can bring to them on how we can help the adjuncts better, and also any kind of new policy that we can develop based on the feedback we get regarding working conditions and shared governance. Currently, our elections are going on. They went out, and our campuses that are needing elections are voting at this point. So we hope to have our 4 new representatives in place by the next time. And other than that, we've had a really busy November. So I'm excited about what's going to be coming for the spring. We take December off to give our representatives time with their family. And so we will be hopefully hosting some other exciting things to tell you about in January. So thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you, and have a happy holiday, everybody.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the adjunct faculty as well. Grateful for everyone. Moving to staff representation update, Mr. Duvall and Ms. Coulson. Welcome.
President Sullivan, governing board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, CEC, and guests, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Calvin Duvall. I'm co-president of staff representation. I would like to start off by highlighting our Rio Salado College staff reps. We have our non-exempt reps at Rio Salado, which is Marissa Burke, who also acts as Rio's senator, Shannon Payne, and Mariana Spardlin. Next slide. The exempt staff reps are Aaron Coe, Claire Grease, and Dana Farney. Next slide. Staff representation would like to say thank you to the Holiday Ad Hoc team for the recommendation, and for Chancellor Gonzalez for approving an extra personal day for employees to be able to observe a cultural day. We have often heard from staff saying that there are multiple days that they would like to observe and have off. This provides them the unique opportunity to take a day of their choosing, as we have a very diverse population of employees at Maricopa. And so with this, we now have the opportunity to have a cultural day of our choosing, which we can take the day off, observe, and celebrate. So again, thank you.
Good afternoon. I am the other co-president, April Rowland, and I wanted to welcome 3 executive new members to our Maricopa team. Dr. Lisa Moore, Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost, Leanne Bond, Chief Operating Officer, and Dr. Heather Carter, Senior Vice Chancellor of External Affairs. We look forward to working with all 3 of these folks here in the near future. Next slide, please. I had the honor of attending the Heroes of Education a few weeks ago. We were able to dress up and network with a lot of sponsors for education. It was a wonderful night put on to honor our educational leaders. I had the opportunity to meet Dr. Cyan Proctor, which was really neat. I did work at South Mountain for a little bit of time, so I had known her prior to her adventures in space. Next slide, please. So November is Native American Heritage Month. There's some quick highlights which our staff reps wrote about. Next slide, please. So what's up next? Festival of Tales, Saturday, December 2nd, will be held at Paradise Valley College, as well as the MVET's end of the year celebration and Army versus Tailgate, December 9th at 12:30 p.m. at Gallagher's Grill. The MVET Challenge victor will be announced, as well as the John McCain Community Engagement Award will be announced. Next slide, please. As always, please remember our link and contact information are on the last slide. And thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much. It was enjoyed seeing you at the Heroes Dinner. Moving on our agenda, there are no emeritus awards or recognitions for this evening, which then brings us to the Chancellor's report. Hi, Dr. Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, President Sullivan and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to provide this update. A couple of the things have already been mentioned as the introduction of Dr. Heather Carter. So one more time, Dr. Carter, let's welcome you to Maricopa. We're so happy that you're here. I too wanted to thank Ms. Bettina Sellas for her leadership over the last year and a half. I think when I asked her to do this, I said, it'll just be for a couple months. And sometimes our mathematical logic here is a little different than the rest of the world, but it ended up being nearly a year and a half. And so she did a tremendous job during that time to keep Maricopa not only to stay afloat, but to continue to help move it forward. So thank you, Bettina. Really appreciate your leadership there. Give her a hand, everybody. I too wanted to publicly thank Brian and his team for a wonderful event that took place at the Phoenix Art Museum a week and a half ago. He was taking a risk because it was a different location, a different format, and I think it paid off very big. So thank you. And Mrs. Bittersmith also served as one of the honorary chairs of that, and we got to honor Dr. Proctor, as was mentioned, and among many others who were college level heroes. And so just a great event. Look forward to it again. And Brian's already thinking about the next time, and that just shows you the leadership that Brian brings to the table. So thank you, Brian. And then I just want to say that we're on the home stretch here for the fall semester. Believe it or not, December is right around the corner. I want to wish our faculty and our students, especially our students, a strong finish to the fall semester. I know that we have one more board meeting before this year is up, but that, I think, falls in finals week. And so our students are likely going to be studying, wrapping up the semester, and maybe well on their way to enjoying the rest of their winter break. But I just wanted to say it's been a great fall semester. I'm looking forward to a strong finish and getting excited and ramped up already thinking about January and the start of a new calendar year. So otherwise, Mrs. Sullivan, that's a fairly light update from me today. So I'm ready to turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you.
Mhm.
It has been a busy fall. Where did it go?
I don't know.
Oh, my. And we can appreciate the year and a half situation. I think, though, we can outdo you by saying it took us 2.5 years to find a chancellor. Would that be fair?
I think we had a similar conversation,
Yeah,
just a
okay.
few months.
I did roll my eyes at that, but what can I say? Anyway, yes, thank you. The next item on our agenda is citizens interim, and I believe there are no, just, I'm getting sign language. Does that mean no? No, okay. We have no citizens interim. I'm doing that pretty well. Can I read sign language? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to move on then to consideration of our consent agenda. In this, all items under this section of the agenda are consent matters unless they are removed from the consent agenda at this time. So do any board members or Dr. Gonzalez, Chancellor, wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Therefore, being none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Bittersmith. With that, are all those in favor of the motion to approve the consent agenda, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda passes as presented by a vote of 7-0 with the student advisor also voting yay. We're now moving to the non-consent action items. The first one is approval of 2 new MOUs, memorandums of understanding for the 23-24 faculty agreement. We've had opportunity to discuss this through agenda review, and board members have reviewed all presented paperwork. Is there a motion to adopt then the 2 new MOUs for the 23-24 faculty agreement as presented?
I move that we adopt the 2 MOUs for the faculty agreement as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Thor. Is there any discussion on the motion? Being none, all those in favor, including our student trustee in this, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you by a vote of 7-0 with the student advisory vote also being yes. Then the agreements are adopted. Then there is first read and information items. Any comment on employment and separations for September 9 through October 6, 2023? Being none, you also have had in your packets the monitoring reports for budget analysis, report Fund 1, General Unrestricted Fund for the 4 months ending 10/31/23. Are there any comments or questions from board members? Being none, we then move to our community reports from board members. And Mr. Burnett, I'd like to start with you this evening, or afternoon, excuse me.
Thank you, President Sullivan. I had a kind of a busy October. I don't know where it all went, but and November on the participated in the food distribution drive they have at Chandler Gilbert. It's fantastic on the 3rd and on the 17th. They do it twice a month, and there's a lot more food than there are people that come to pick it up. But there's there's definitely a lot of traffic, and it's good to see it going to a good use. Let's see, the admin lunch, I did an admin lunch with the nursing students and the mortuary science students. That was absolutely fantastic. Some of the smartest students I've ever met. Just amazing. A lot of veterans there and people with starting second careers, parents, moms, and the reasons they got into mortuary science and nursing. Fantastic. On the 4th, participated in the etiquette dinner put on by the Student Senate at Gateway Community College. It's the second year I've done that. It's always interesting, and I continue to learn that I still don't know what fork and knife to use and how to butter my bread properly. But it's something that they put on for young students because a lot of this stuff isn't being taught in homes, and they're going to need it in their professional career. So it's very useful. I think we need more participation. I'd like to see the room twice the size, but that was a great night. On the 5th, I did again another admin lunch and student advisory board meeting where we put together a suicide prevention walk for a couple of the schools in Maricopa County, specifically CGCC. And then Phoenix College that night, I attended the Hispanic Heritage Celebration. On the 19th, I did the ASCGCC. The president, Peterson, wanted a survey done to help come up with a mission, vision, value statement that more closely aligned with Maricopa County Community College District. And we went through an exercise where we presented a survey to the leadership of the student body. Pretty well received, and I think they got good feedback. I don't know what the feedback has been, but from what I understand at the meeting, people are pretty excited about doing the survey and having their input so that the goals and missions vision aligns with what Maricopa does, which was interesting. That was nice. Student Success Conference, that was interesting on the 27th, the end of October. There were the big three, I guess you guys call it. I'm not sure what you call it. ASU, U of A, and CGCC, the big four-year schools around here. Is there another one I'm forgetting? I don't know. There might be. But anyway, they all decided to get together and figure out where all the money went. And it was an interesting conference. We had two state senators that were there, and a lot of the student leadership from those institutions. And we also had a presentation, and I was the only representative from the district because it was really designed for, I guess, for the four-year colleges, but they invited us to attend, and really glad I did. I found out that there's a lot of things that they are maybe not privy to or just don't do as well as we do in the community college district, and specifically it's when it comes to helping students. Onboarding students. They're a bigger institution, so people can get lost becoming a number in a big school like that. And in small schools, I think we have that ability, the capability of reaching out and touching students and connecting them, getting that stick-to-itiveness to keep them in the school long enough to where they can build relationships. And that maybe doesn't always happen at larger institutions. And I think that from what I could gather for the meeting, all three of the institutions, the leadership were surprised that we had programs designed to help students stick, to actually build relationships between faculty, staff, and students that help them stick in the school long enough to build those relationships so they will continue and finish through. And just the programs that we have that we maybe take for granted, they don't necessarily, they were like, really, you guys do that for students? That's interesting. Can we get more information on that? But it was Phoenix College that did the presentation. I can't remember all the names. I have them written down somewhere, but they did an amazing presentation for those state senators as well as all the representatives from the big three. So that was a great morning that we spent there. On the 30th, I attended a student council conference on leadership. Oh, that was the 30th. Sorry about that. And the Student Success Conference was on the 27th. That's what we did with the other board members in downtown Phoenix. Sorry, I confused the two. And then in November, apologize for the ums, we did the Veterans Breakfast at CGCC, and Dr. Veronica Lipolito was there. I think she's Dean of Student Affairs, and we had about 10 to 15 veterans show up over the span of the time. It was really interesting just to be able to take notes from other veterans and understand why they're in school and what they're doing, and just a show of appreciation for Veterans Day, for veterans that are in our school district. And on the 14th, we did the board retreat and work session. I learned a lot more. Dr. President Sullivan allowed me to hang around a little bit longer than normally. She normally kicks me out about halfway through, but it was good. I got a chance to learn some really neat stuff, all the real important stuff you guys talk about, which is really cool. I appreciate that.
We only talk about things that are publicly
Right,
noted.
publicly
just
noted.
FYI.
It's just publicly noted. We had our attorneys that she was in the House attorney was there, so she was consulted before they allowed me to stay. He can hear that, but not that. On the 16th, we did the suicide prevention walk, which was really, really neat. It had different stations set up, and all the different groups, the leadership groups in the school, put on a different, basically a different station to address suicide prevention, which is something meaningful for our kids to be involved in. And then lastly, on the 21st, I participated in the Feed My Starving Children with Phi Theta Kappa, which is, when I went to college, I never got to be in a fraternity. We didn't have fraternities where I went to school. So this was kind of like my fraternity now. And it was amazing. If you've never done it, take a group of 10 people, go participate. You will feel amazing when you walk away that you actually did something meaningful. And we sat and prayed over all the food that was being delivered. And you see the food that you packed, and you know where it's going, and the kids that it's going to impact. And it definitely walked away from that with a sense of gratefulness, the country that we live in. So that's my report, President Sullivan.
Thank you. You've been busy.
I can't wait for this semester to be over.
Okay, none of those students will take that personally. then.
No.
Okay. And I do want to reiterate that,
Yes.
again, that all the items that the board ever discusses are
Yes.
publicly noted, just in case anyone might get a different impression.
wrong
We talked
idea.
About 6. So anyway, we're very transparent, right? Ms. Falconer, okay, thank you. But thank you for your report. It was very thorough, and I know that students appreciate your participation. So thank you. Ms. Butler.
Thank you very much. Well, first I want to welcome Dr. Heather Carter, my friend and former colleague, and welcome to the wonderful and positive world of our community colleges. You're going to love it, and we're so grateful that you're here. Attended the board retreat with the rest of the board. It was really helpful time to go over budget, and we did a lot of really important work. Also, the Heroes of Education event. Want to congratulate the foundation and Brian Spicker. It was an absolutely such a positive moment to be part of our community and to see kind of the celebration of all of the, the business leaders and everyone that was there to celebrate what we are all doing and what we're working so hard to do and to build. And I'll just mention really quick, I had a real quick conversation with some members of the grant writing and management office. Their team was there, and it was wonderful to get a chance to thank them in person for how hard they work. Half of our meetings are approving their work, and it just was really nice to bring everyone together. Such a unique event, positive, and loved it. Tonight, attending the Valley Leadership again on the Brian Spicker congratulatory train. He's the man of the year, so getting to celebrate with him again tonight, and then the foundation board meeting tomorrow. So we've got a lot of great work with the foundation, and really appreciate all they're doing. And it's been a great month so far. So thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. Ms. Davis.
I also attended the Student Success Conference on the 27th of October. I went to sessions on the first year experience and on Pipeline AZ, which were both very interesting. I wore my t-shirt because Dr. Narini wears his t-shirts. And so I decided I could wear my t-shirt. And mine is from the Veterans Walk on 11/11. And they actually did their ceremony at 11 o'clock. It was the first time I've ever been to a veterans thing where they did the whole 11/11/11 thing. So I loved it. It was at Estrella Mountain, and my husband and I had to walk because my running days are kind of over, but it was fun. It was the biggest group of people you'd ever had, right, Dr. Rivera? Yeah, so we had like 250 people, and we just walked around the campus, but it was great. And a lot of student support out there directing us where to go and all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of fun. I loved it. I went to the press conference with the governor at South Mountain on the 13th of November. It was interesting. There was somebody there from the Capital Times that asked question after question after question. And one of the reasons I went was because I knew that my old colleague Erin Hart was going to be there, and so I had a chance to talk to her. And so it was a great event, and it was all about the construction fields, and so it was wonderful. I also did the governing board retreat. Thanks, Ms. Granillo, for all of your wonderful information about budgets. I learned a lot on that day. And I went to the Heroes of Education Foundation event on the 16th. And then last Friday, some of us went to the Girls Get IT event at Scottsdale, which was wonderful. We got to have lunch with some of the girls. And then I stayed for the thing with all the vendors and stuff like that, which was also very fun. And I met somebody from Glendale that is hoping to do a Girls Get IT event there next year. And I told her that I would love to help and volunteer there. So it's been busy, but it's been a lot of fun. And I really appreciate all that you guys do just to entertain me. It's been fun. And that's my report, Madam.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Dr. Narini.
Thank you. Like so many others, I was also at the Student Success Conference and the Heroes of Education. If the students could see how many folks we have committed to them, right, they would, I think, be a lot happier. But we do have, whether it's from the foundation side or whether it's from our staff side, the people that are committed to our students is incredible. So thank you guys all for what you do. On November 1st, I went to Dia de los Muertos program at South Mountain Community College put on by their MECHA. On the 4th, it was a great day for the Chancellor's Health and Wellness Family Day at PC, and also the community event and car show at Gateway Community College. It was a beautiful day, Saturday. Wednesday, November 8th, was the First Generation Day for the first generation students. And so I was at South Mountain Community College for their first but not last program, first generation students. And then that evening, I was at Paradise Valley for their Rise and Thrive, Mastering Resilience. So I gave them my story, and I guess that inspired them because they couldn't get any worse. And then on Friday, unfortunately, I only have one chest, so I can only wear one T-shirt today. I went to the Girls Get It, and they had some lovely T-shirts there. And then for fun, Scottsdale Community College hosted Nights Off, their drama department. And if you get a chance to go to any of the theater that we have in the district, you should. Paradise Valley had Shakespeare in Love that I went to, and was an excellent production. So we have some great talent in the district. So please take advantage of it.
Is that it?
That's my report.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Narini. And Ms. Smith.
Sure. So I also went to the Student Success Conference, and in particular, I appreciated the sessions about Phoenix College's wraparound support model and also Rio Salado's adult education model. I also went to the Heroes of Education event, and I tend to be someone who is hypercritical generally and at events in particular, and I did not have one edit. I thought it was absolutely perfect. I thought there was great people flow. I thought the food was excellent. The music was amazing. I thought the program was a perfect length. I left really inspired with great talking points, and I just thought it was a 10 out of 10. Great job to you and the team. And then I just wanted to offer a reflection because I've been thinking a lot about talking points and bumping into folks and making sure I have the most up-to-date things that we want to be sharing with community members. And one reflection I'll offer for the presidents and those that support the students that come to do the monthly meetings, one idea that I'd love to share would be, here are some questions that I know I'd love to get reminded of every month when we hear these presentations. I'd love a reminder about how many students are on the campus. I'd love a reminder or information about what classes are growing in popularity and why we think that is. I would love feedback on the new facilities. So in a board meeting, we might approve new facilities, but then we don't ever get to hear how they're being used and whether or not we're happy with that construction. And I feel like reinforcing that those kind of facility developments are positive will keep encouraging continued approval of those facilities. I also think it would be helpful to hear what's changed since the last time students gave a report from that campus. So something that I'm starting to realize, oh my goodness, I'm already at 3 years on the board with so many different schools and so many things going on every month and a new school, a new college updating every month. I'm trying to track trends in all of the colleges and just get a sense of what is the direction of the district and what are the directions of the colleges. And I think the students can be the ones that help us understand that direction by reminding us. And I haven't picked up on the pattern if, for example, PVCC always presents in November or how that shakes out, 12 months, but 1 month's off, 10 schools, so probably not. But you can remind us, the last time students from PVCC spoke was on this date, and since then, here's what's changed. Enrollment is up, enrollment is down. These are the degree programs that were popular last time. These are the degree programs that are popular now. And so just wanted to say, when I joke, I tend to be critical and I tend to give feedback. Feedback to me is an expression of my interest and my commitment to everyone here. And so with more information, I just want to be better equipped to advocate for all of us. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. You bring up some really good points about the communication that I think is so important to all of us as board members. And I'm sure Dr. Gonzalez was taking notes and is going to be following up on all of that. But one of the things that I noticed, given that we're so many places, so many times, as you're hearing from us, it is important that we stay current, not just with the idea of public policy, but people look at us as ambassadors for this district in so many ways. And it's not just events that we attend around the community college activities. We're out in the public arena in other areas often. And when someone finds out you're a governing board member, there's either no longer comments about football, maybe once in a while. Dr. Narini, is that right? Yeah. And that goes back to when we originally ran and there was some controversy around the issue. But it's now coming up about, well, what are the workers? How is that leading to employment? Where are we going? What kind of degrees? Oh, I heard you are offering degrees. Well, what does that mean? Are you taking anything away from someone? So in addition to all the comments that Ms. Smith has made, which I think are very, very important, that can contribute to our leadership, I think it can help us be supportive of your activities as well as we can understand that strategic direction, that trending analysis, the data. So thank you for that, Ms. Smith. I think that's critically important. Dr. Thor.
There's certainly a lot of repetition tonight, and I'm going to continue some of that, but I do have one new one to talk about.
Okay.
And that's on October 25th, I attended the Education Forward Arizona's dinner to celebrate collaboration and innovation in education. And one of the recipients that night of the North Star Award was Arizona Western College. So it was great to see the team from Arizona Western there and to congratulate them. On October 27th, I also attended the Student Success Conference, but I did so remotely, and I appreciated the opportunity to participate that way. On November 16th, I joined all the members of the board at the Heroes of Education event at the Phoenix Art Museum. And I also want to congratulate Susan Bittersmith on co-chairing such a successful and sold-out event. As was mentioned yesterday, I did join the Paradise Valley Community College team in hosting Representative Judy Schwiebert. And the representative heard some wonderful updates from the college and also toured not only the Empowerment Center, but some of the fine arts spaces at the college. And I learned a great deal, and I came away with reinforced knowledge of what a tremendous supporter Representative Schwiebert is of the community colleges. And then, like everyone else, I look forward to tonight's Valley Leadership Man and Woman of the Year event, where we will get to celebrate Brian Spicker. That completes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Thor. Ms. Bittersmith.
Thank you, President Sullivan. As Dr. Thor mentioned, I joined her and several other board members at the Education Forward event, which I thought was, again, useful for us to continue to show our support and engagement in those efforts, and joined the board at the board retreat. Thank you for the kind words about the Heroes Gala, but honestly, as everyone in this room knows, the real work happens with Brian and his team. And I want to thank Brian for continuing to do that and making all of us look good. I have heard nothing but positive comments from people that I made go, who will come again now, by the way, Brian, they're going to come, and those that were already there. So it was really, I think, a tribute to engagement of not just faculty and foundation board members, but also we obviously showcased some students as well, which I thought was really, really important. So thank you to all the board for being there. One reminder of an upcoming event this Saturday, and I was asked to do this by our campus police folks about Shop with a Cop on Saturday throughout the, I'm going to be joining Dr. Lashinsky at Scottsdale Community to help do that. And I think other board members may be doing other campuses as well. Finally, I have one final thing. At our last board meeting, we had an update on our strategic plan and a great report. And thank you so much for that, Dr. Hernandez. But as you know, earlier, many of us received T-shirts. We added one more to Dr. Narini's inventory. And I have been the person that has been guilty of talking about the T-shirt statement. So I have some T-shirts for it. Kathy, if you'd come forward, for the faculty monitors. These are not quite as nice as the ones that we got as board members. My supply chain is different. Hobby Lobby and the daughter who can actually make T-shirts. So these have the T-shirt statement on them or you can distribute to those that are continuing to give us updates and reports and things that we will want to hear and understand and read. And sorry, Dr. Marini, I don't have one for you, but if you'd like one, I think I can talk my daughter into helping me make one more. So that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bittersmith. Well, there's a lot of repetition in what I would have to share with you as well. So you've heard that so many activities we've attended together, or we've presented together, we've sat on panels together, et cetera. So I was thinking, what do I have outside of some of what else has been presented? But I want to do two things. One, I want to welcome Miss Lauren Amore back to being a presence in our meetings. Congratulations on the birth of your daughter, Hattie, and we're glad to see you back in the audience. Thank you. And I believe you also have a new staff member. You're nodding, and her name is Abby. Abby James. Okay, so government relations work just became more. So, okay, you double the person, we're going to double the work. What can I say? But the work that government relations does, and Dr. Carter, I know, can appreciate this as she provides some oversight to that. It's incredibly important to our future. And that leads me to then, I was present at the Australia Mountain Community College campus in Phoenix College campus meeting with some legislators, both of whom are extremely important to our future from a legislative standpoint, but who really appreciate and understand what is happening in community colleges so that they can counterpoint some of the misinformation that travels through political communities. And I think it's great that we have the opportunity to both invite legislators and other community leaders to our campuses, and that you as presidents and your staff open up the doors for them to observe programs and to answer tough questions that they ask. The big topic of conversation, of course, is the looming budget deficit at the state level and its implications as they move into budget appropriations. We'll work really hard to ensure that there's at least stability in the budget for community colleges. I also see Dr. Borofsky in our audience. He is our interim executive director for AC4 and the Arizona Association of Community College Trustees. And Dr. Borofsky, I know you're very involved with Ms. Hart at the governor's office and others working with Dr. Gonzalez and governing board trustees to move an agenda forward to the governor's office so that it can also be a partner in the development of the work that's so incredibly important to our futures. So again, Lauren and Abby, welcome. And you have lots of work to do, but so do so many of us, because in the end, we're all advocates. It's not our role exclusively as board members. It's not Dr. Borofsky's role. It's not government relations role. It is all of our opportunities and our role to be advocates for the excellence that we support in education. And I don't think you can put all of that on a t-shirt, but know that that's what we stand for that way. So that's been part of my activity. Heroes Dinner, kudos, won't go on beyond that. Secondly, I also attended the welcoming for Dr. Hernandez to the Glendale Community College. And that was a great event with community participation as well as those folks in your faculty and others. So I was delighted to be there and offer some brief comments in that. There's another element that stands out that's very much on all of our minds. Well, maybe not yours, maybe not mine all the time, but that is, of course, the work of artificial intelligence and its impact and its role in the community college or higher education space. So I, again, had the privilege to attend the AI conference sponsored by Chandler Gilbert and Estrella, and was present for many of the keynote, well, I think one of the important keynotes, and then also the activity around AI. And somehow that led to being interviewed with Dr. Gonzalez and Dr. Peterson from the AGB trustee element for a magazine article. And I've gotten the first blush at that draft. And it will be, I think, imperative that everyone have an opportunity to read the article. It is comprehensive in what is happening in higher education from leaders' perspectives. The community college piece is relatively small in that article, but nevertheless, I think it's something that we all have to be cognizant of in broader context. And I know you're dealing with that at your campuses from a programmatic standpoint, curriculum design, and all of that. But the perspective that's happening nationally, I think, is important, and it will filter into certainly even more of what we do in that AI space. And one of the things I remember when someone was asking me, I guess it was at the conference, what do you think about AI? And I said, well, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, that's scary. And now I'm trying to readjust my thinking to say, no, this is an opportunity for us to walk into a new world. And let's make sure we do so ethically with integrity and ensuring that we're giving opportunities to our students in the best way possible. So that was another thing I did, the conference and the interview. One of my most enjoyable pieces, well, I did go to the Student Success Conference. You heard that. We did have a lot of other activity going on, attended the board retreat. I also attended another governor's press conference, actually at the Capitol, and where there was more conversation about the opportunity of our district to partner with the Arizona Commerce Authority Office of Economic Opportunity in construction and other trades. And I believe it was $4 million, Dr. Gonzalez, that's being filtered through ACA that is intended to come to the community college system, I believe, if it's private money. But as Dr. Carter gets more involved, and I know you're top-notch in that area, we'll be paying more attention to those opportunities and those relationships to support that activity. And I know, Dr. Danielle, that really is imperative to your campus as well, how things are going there. Anyway, one of the most fun things I did, those are all fun, delightful, enjoy being on your campuses, is I got to attend the Linda B. Rosenthal mentoring program with Ms. Falkenberg. And it's always so wonderful to see the enthusiasm and participation of so many of our staff in each cohort. And so I think I've attended now 4 years of being invited to speak or interact with our staff members and others who are enjoying that program. But it's so, we gather here together as the perceived leaders, but the one thing that I think is so important is we acknowledge leadership. Leadership is as much from, I hate to use a hierarchical model, but a bottom up as it is a top down. And each person who is participating in that program is a leader. And to see their own personal and professional growth is very inspiring. And I know that that leaves the district in a very positive place. So it's always enjoyable to go. I appreciate the invitations, and it also gives me an opportunity, and I know Dr. Thor can appreciate it, to celebrate Dr. Rosenthal's leadership from the past. I know sometimes there are many people who said, Dr. Rosenthal's coming on campus one more time. And I believe she also had an office at the district office. We have a general office. I don't have an office, but Linda always had an office. And so she left her mark definitively, but I do believe that the mentoring group is something that she would just be so, so incredibly proud of, and having her name attached to that. So thank you, Dr. Hernandez and your crew, for inviting me to do that. Also went to the Girls Get It, the IT piece. Gosh, you know, the list goes on and on. So how do you close with all of these things that we're telling you? As we're saying, this is what we did. I'm sure you're all thinking, well, my calendar had 20 times those interviews, or we were busy doing all of this. So why are we not being celebrated? Know that we do celebrate you, and know that we do acknowledge that you're very busy professionals, and that you're staying on top of all of that is going on in your campuses, regardless of what role you play. We're just the tip of that iceberg, and I know we all find joy and inspiration in all the opportunities that we have to participate with you. And thank you for giving us the opportunity that when we come knocking, you're always so generous with your time and just welcoming. So thank you for that. So now we've concluded the month of November. As Dr. Gonzalez said, we're heading into the home stretch. We have 2 more meetings. December 5 is going to be a virtual board agenda review meeting. You know, we always have to cram the last minute things in. December 12th will be an in-person regular governing board meeting. And yes, we recognize that it's final weeks for students, but we have a surprise. Well, it's not a surprise if I tell you, right? We're going to enjoy the mariachis to be here beginning at 6 o'clock on December 12th. They're going to entertain us with music. They're participating students finding a time or finding their way to carve out some time to provide us some enjoyment. We'll be hosting some refreshments, and we'll look forward to having everyone here to be together as we break December 2023 down and anticipate moving into 24 and acknowledging the year's work that we've all done together. So please join us at 6 p.m. on December 12th. It'll be here, and that's how we will appreciate the students, through the mariachis. And I can never say their full name. Does anyone know how, Dr. Britt, how do you, something to, or whoever can say it better. Yeah, the mariachis group. Thank you. Okay, so they will be here. So we look forward to seeing you. So those are the 2 upcoming meetings. There are a couple important items on that agenda we'll be discussing through agenda review and moving into the December 12th meeting. Thank you for carving out your afternoon to spend with us. It follows your other meetings. It's a comprehensive big day, but at least you don't have to come back. Yeah. Many of us are looking forward to going to the Valley Leadership Dinner this evening in honor of Mr. Spicker, but appreciate you being with us during noon. Thank you very much for your time. The meeting is now adjourned.